Okay, Minister, maybe the first question, the latest between SAP.
Starts
from Summit.
I'll see you. No, you must remember what I said earlier when we took office, was that access to sport is an instrument of mass participation. And access to sport, I meant across all codes. And that too has to do with broadcasting of all sport of national importance. And it's important to give that background so that you understand why, when we heard about the issues, which were statements were being thrown left and right in public, declaring a dispute between SuperSport as well as SABC. We then had to meet with SABC yesterday, having had another discussion independent with SuperSport, to understand what is an issue. Not so much to say what happened, but what needs to be done. And I'm very hopeful from the meeting I had with the senior executive of SABC that by the time the tournament starts on Friday, they would have found each other. If you speak to SuperSport, I'm comfortable that themselves, they are prepared to a win-win situation. If you look at what will make commercial sense, I don't think any of them will be able to win commercially to make sense, but it must be in the national interest, what must emerge. I'm very hopeful as they met today, SABC, I'm aware, SuperSport, they are waiting for a call from SABC to make sure that this matter is resolved. I'm very interested to find a solution to this matter, at least by the time tournament starts on Friday.
Mr. Can you say, as we stand there now, that the first match of the Springboks should
I'm not in those negotiations. And I think it would be premature and wrong of me to mislead you and mislead the public. What I can commit is what I've said to both sides. Also guided by my understanding of what the role of sport, nation building, social cohesion, national identity. We must not deny any section of the community on the basis of their location in society, because they can afford, they cannot afford. What I'm happy, what comforts me from a meeting of yesterday, is that the matter of radio rights has been settled. So SABC, there's no issue on the table about radio rights. So millions of South Africans who listen on radio, but we have a big section of South Africans who want to watch, not just to listen. It is that matter that is on the table, about broadcasting right. You know, there's a history to this matter, which is now before the Competition Commission. We hope the Competition Commission, about issues of monopoly, about issues of rights, broadcasting rights, will be resolved, and we'll leave those issues there. So I don't want to mislead you and say by Friday all the ceremony will be on SABC. But the commitment I have from those who are negotiating is that in the national interest, let's make sure that at the start of the tournament on Friday, including on Sunday, when we play Scotland, South Africans will have an opportunity to watch their best games.
Just to follow up, Minister, because we've been here before, and I was part of the public hearing of the CASA a while back, where all the federations did say that if sports goes to SABC, where the federations don't make enough money from selling of the rights, they will struggle. How are you going to navigate around this complex issue? Because also CASA have already pronounced on this. That's where we are,
That's why I'm very careful not to make public pronouncements on the issues. I understand the sensitivity about some of the federations who will not want to be on SABC. They will prefer to go to SuperSport. And yet, in terms of their support base, it's more on SABC. But it's the issue of money, so they will follow money. What do you do as government? So the issue about corporate interventions are very important. So I think we will leave the issues that about broadcasting and also national interest to where it belongs. And I think what the Competition Commission will help us is to at least to resolve some of those issues. The CASA is a regulator, as well as some of the important stakeholders, like the minister. I had a long discussion with Minister Gungubele around these issues. How best do we resolve this issue going forward? Because what I don't like, I'm sure you know best because you've been following us, is to find ourselves where we are now 5 years down the line. So we need a permanent solution. And that permanent solution would mean, among others, well, federations, if they go to SABC, they get money from SABC. And these are the conversations, we can't have them through a microphone. You've got to sit down and say, how do we help federations to have money they need?
Minister, just to come back to this event which is being held here, Orlando Pirates Nedbank fast-tracking some of the things that you always talk about in terms of sports progress, school sports to be particular. Could this be one of the events that says the directive that you've given has found some fast-tracking from the corporate and football teams?
I'm quite pleased by our social partners, such as Sports Trust and Nedbank, whom I found to be one of the patriotic corporate citizens we have in the country. We work with them in many fronts. And for them to have worked along the lines of my vision since I came in, we have about 10 similar that will build throughout the country. I've already given an indication in which area they must go to. It's important that this is next week, school sport in Daba must be a culmination, and it must herald more of these sporting codes, because in the past, we had raw talent coming from Soweto, and yet we do not have facilities. You have some of the raw talent that has shown and demonstrated talent in national teams. You had Zamaweni coming from Ekala, a school that has got no facilities at all. So we will take these facilities to areas where we think that there is raw talent, but that talent must be allowed. And I think the school sport will give us an opportunity to herald a new revolution in sport in the country.
Minister, you spoke fondly about Ubabu Dr. Koza. One would say it was more of you saying thank you for something, paying tribute to him in front of everybody here. What does it mean to you to have this man coming here and gracing this event, and your relationship with him? How far does it go? Because I could tell that there are things you are not saying there. You gave a hint about the issue of managing the sports and all of that, him being involved, you giving him a boot somewhere. But just take us through, what does it mean to have this man around?
No, you just have to Google that relationship. It goes back when we were in the youth league. We were very militant. At the time, PSL took a decision to leave SAPC, few games, and go to multi-choice. You can just Google what that statement said about the PSL leadership. It was him who called us to a PSL meeting. It took us a day to explain exactly where we are now today. And when I look back, I'm like, why have we not resolved? I'm not talking about 4 years back. I'm talking about 15 to 20 years ago. Why are we still sitting with the same problem? So for me, it's been inspiration. He's a legend. If you understand the evolution of football in the country, that evolution, at the center of it is Dr. Ivan Koza.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In retrospect of